Did you know that the sponsorship industry is changing drastically? And I want to make sure that nonprofit organizations such as yourself feel prepared for the changes that are shifting in the sponsorship industry. Now, the sponsorship industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And in America, we spend a lot of money on sponsorships, whether that be for-profit, for nonprofit organizations. And so it is a well-oiled machine. And there's so much opportunity for you and your nonprofit in 2025 and years to come. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the top 5 sponsorship trends that you should be looking for and implementing as you navigate the sponsorship industry, as you close sponsorship deals for your signature events, not only in 2025, but in the years to come. My name is Mariah Monique, and I'm your host for today. I am the founder and the CEO of the Sponsorship Catalyst, where I teach and empower nonprofit organizations how to secure event sponsorships so that you can increase your impact, revenue, as well as your partnerships. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first sponsorship trend that you're going to want to consider as you're preparing sponsorship materials and as you are pitching to sponsors is that sponsors are going to be looking for purpose-driven sponsorship opportunities, right? And the good thing is that you're already a nonprofit. You're already doing things that's on purpose. You're already doing things that is focused on really making sure that people are served and served well. So sponsors are increasingly seeking to align with organizations with causes that reflect their values, their mission, as well as their audiences. And so some of the trend insights is that brands are more likely to support initiatives that tackle global issues. This can look like climate control, sustainability, environmental safety. This can look like mental health. This also can look like diversity and inclusion. Now, I know DE&I work is on the chopping block all over. However, in 2020, when organizations made a stance or a statement that they would invest in others and be inclusive with their financial commitments, some organizations really are staying true to that. It is part of their DNA, and it was some organizations was already a part of their DNA. So I don't want you to be discouraged with all the DE&I work that is currently being chopped, because there are some organizations that are still valuing that type of work, and they're going to be looking for organizations that are on purpose, that are aligned with what they want to focus on for the year. So that's the first trend. The second trend is that sponsors are going to be looking for sponsorships where there's some storytelling aspect and opportunity for them, where maybe there's a merging of messages or some sort of co-branded messaging that the sponsor can include with what you do. And so you want to make sure that you are thinking through before you reach out to a sponsor, that you're actually thinking about what is the story that you want to tell, that you can tell as it relates to bringing that partner on board. I love the quote by Stephen Covey, who is the author of The 7 Highly Effective People. And he talks about starting with the end in mind. So you want to really truly think about, if you want a particular partner, what is the story that you want to share with this partner? What is the impact story that you want to be able to tell after the thing that they've supported has been executed, and you're able to really kind of share those numbers and really show that impact. So sponsors are going to be looking for things beyond logo placement. They're going to be looking for things beyond, having a booth or having some sort of verbal recognition at your event, but they're going to be looking for those storytelling opportunities. Now, there are some trend insights that I want you to be aware of as it relates to creating these opportunities prior to pitching to a potential sponsor. Those are really leveraging your storytelling platforms. This can be digitally through social media, and there's several different platforms you can do that on. It could be through your website. It can be through other digital resources and platforms that you have access to as an asset to be able to tell the story of the sponsor or merge your stories together. This could also be through interviews that you're going to do. One of the things that is going to be prime and is going to just continue to grow is video series, video stories, opportunities where there's a visual placed with the story that you all are sharing with that sponsor or telling on behalf of that sponsor. And so looking for those opportunities and pitching those to sponsors as opportunities that they can be a part of is going to be really, really critical. Now, the third thing that you want to consider, and it's actually one of my favorite things, is also sponsors are going to be looking for data-driven sponsorships. They're going to be asking for more metrics. They're going to be demanding, more impact. Like, what are the results of what they have supported? Reason being is because they want to be able to measure it, number one. But two, it also does both organizations, the sponsor and you as a nonprofit organization. It adds more value to why someone would continue to work with you. And I don't know about you, but anytime I think about securing sponsorships or I'm working with a client, I'm really wanting them to think long term about how do you create some recurrent sponsorship revenue and create some sponsorship loyalty because of the value that you're able to prove, not only by executing amazing events, that's great, but also the impact that you can show from the events that you are hosting. Now, if you're learning something, I want you to drop it in the chat. I want you to share with me what you're resonating with most, and share with me what you want to know in terms of sponsorship trends that I've already covered so far. And if you like what I'm talking about, then hit the like and subscribe button so that this video can be shared with more folks with the YouTube algorithm. Now, the fourth thing you're going to want to really focus in on is community-focused sponsorships. Now, you're a nonprofit organization, so you have that in the bag already. However, it's important to understand that sponsors are going to be looking for local impact. They're going to be looking for opportunities to make an impact on a smaller scale. And when I say small, I don't mean necessarily in terms of numbers, but at a local level, you can usually see impact greater versus than doing something more globally. Sometimes that is the case. But sponsors do want to make sure their dollars are being invested into the local communities in which they have branches or they're headquartered in. And so you want to take advantage and lean into that, especially as nonprofit organizations that have boots on the ground. You have built trust with the communities that you're in every single day. You are essentially subject matter experts, and sponsors need access to that. They don't know the community like you know the community. So when you're partnering with the sponsor, your mindset is to say, hey, we've got the audience, we've got the trust of the community. This is what works well with our folks. If you want to come on board as a sponsor, this is what this can look like. It puts you in a driver's seat as well, right? It's not like no longer that, the nonprofit is just in the passenger seat and the sponsor's driving everything because they've got the money. No, this is truly what it looks like to be in a partnership. And this is truly what it looks like to co-collaborate with the sponsors that are going to come on board to support the work that you're doing in the community. And again, because you have that trust and you have already some relational equity within the community, you want to be able to lean into that and leverage it so that your community can be served at even greater levels. So community-focused sponsorships, again, nonprofits that focus on local solutions and community-driven events will attract sponsors that are looking to either enhance their perception or reputation, or they just want to maybe establish their authority in the industry as thought leaders. And so that's also very common, especially when sponsors are wanting to establish, their stands or who they are or their brand within a particular community. So that is the fourth thing that you're going to want to consider as you go seek sponsorships for 2025 and beyond. And I do believe that you should do some pre-work prior to really thinking through with your team or your board members, like, why does this make sense for this brand to come on? Gone are the days where you can just say, hey, I just want, Target, or I just want Google, or I want Walmart, or I want Trader Joe's to support me just because I know they have the money, or because why they should care about my cause. Gone are those days. You really have to think strategically. You got to put on your strategic hat. And if that's not you, leverage people on your team that are strategic, that are big thinkers, and can really also dice these things up so that when you all move forward as an organization, there's some clarity in the value that you can offer a sponsor, as well as clear, concrete reasons that are sellable to a sponsors. Okay. And so the last thing that you're going to want to consider for 2025 and beyond in terms of the sponsorship trends that are happening is that sponsors are going to want innovative sponsor activations. Now, I love this one. And here's why. Because for far too long, the nonprofit industry has focused on tent table situation. It's kind of like the model. But hear me out and hear me well, hear my heart. When you're going to sponsors and you're pitching them an opportunity, you say, hey, you get a 10 by 10 booth, you get a 10 by 20, you get a 10 by 30, whatever the size of their space is. Allow the flexibility for that sponsor to build out the experience that is necessary for them to meet their goals. And that's how you should engage in the conversations. Hey, what are your goals for this year? How can a 10 by 10 space or a 10 by 20 space allow you to meet some of those goals? So for instance, it's of that sponsor's responsibility to say, hey, we want to build, instead of the tent, table, and chairs, get rid of that. We'll keep the tent, but we want to build some sort of maze that people go through. But as they get to each point in our space, they are going to be learning about our brand. They're going to be engaging with our brand, and we're going to be engaging with them because it's going to be a win-win exchange for both the sponsors and the audience. And so really allowing that flexibility for sponsors to create in order for them to meet the goals that they have internally is going to be critical. Now, creativity is going to be big in this space. So simple banners, logo placements, those are great and they add to it. However, being able to offer sponsors the flexibility to do what they need to do within their booth space in order to be able to engage with the audience. One of the reasons why this is so powerful and sponsorships in general are so powerful and maybe a little bit more powerful than some of the traditional marketing aspects is because of the experience. Sponsorships are usually connected to events. Events usually evoke some level of emotion, right? Whether it's like, wow, I was really excited about that experience that Adidas just had, or I was really excited about the experience that Wrangler just had. And it allows for that brand to bake in mentally, right, the impressions of that brand because of the experience. That's why you may go to an event and you may see Toyota or Chevron there, and they are allowing people to test drive the new vehicle because they recognize and they understand that touching, feeling, seeing. You may go to a booth and it's like a wine club or a winery, and they're doing like product sampling. Again, getting people to be able to touch, feel, see, taste what it is that brand has to offer, while also talking to their representatives, is a great way for them to build brand loyalty, build a new customer base, or establish even deeper roots with their existing customers. So that's going to be really powerful. And when we think about trend insights for this particular trend of sponsorships, is that you're going to want to offer activation ideas. Like, again, being strategic on the front end and bringing ideas to sponsor, like, they love that. Even if they say no to all of your ideas, they see that you put some thought in how they may activate because you also understand your audience. Let me tell you, as one that has reviewed at least over 1,000 sponsorship pitches from nonprofit organizations, I've seen people do it very well, and I've seen many people do it very wrong. And those that do it really well, they understand their audience so much and they understand their sponsor's needs that when that sponsor comes to them and they say, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z, and we want to activate like this, they can say, hey, well, based on our data, we think that it will be better and you'll be able to reach your target if you do X, Y, and Z and in this way. Again, allowing that sponsor to take that information because you understand your audience and you understand how that sponsor could potentially get the best benefit, bang for their buck. It just adds more value. Then you want to keep sponsoring those folks because it's like, they care about me so much. It's just not about the dollar. It's about helping me meet my goal. And if you're around me for any amount of time, you're going to hear me say, you are the solution to sponsors. You're the solution to some of their internal goals. You're the reason, you're the thing that they need in order to even help meet some of those goals. So you're going into these conversations with the mindset of, I'm going to be the solution for my sponsors, and I'm going to be the solution for my audience. What does my audience need that I can connect with the right sponsor, bring them on board, and now my event is done well, and there's a high anticipation for them to come again next year because there was such great alignment for both the sponsors and the participants. Now, that is the top 5 sponsorship trends that you should be considering and implementing as you go forth into your sponsorship journey, as you secure and close sponsorship deals. Again, not only for 2025, but years to come. This will give you a competitive advantage above other nonprofits that are similar to you, or maybe in your area, or maybe across the nation, but are very similar to you. It also will give you a competitive advantage for people that are also securing sponsors that are maybe in the for-profit space. Again, you want to make sure that you are playing the right game and not the game that used to be. And so I wanted to share these trends because I think it is really important for nonprofit organizations such as yourself to be empowered, right? To be empowered and to feel confident on how to navigate this space like professionals, how to navigate this space like people who understand the value that you bring to the table. And remember, you are the solution. And so if you liked anything that I talked about in this video, please like and subscribe. Go in the comments, let me know how it has added value to your perspective, or maybe giving you a new revelation, or submit a question. I would love to answer questions. And if you have particular questions, put them in the comment, and I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking, what you are processing or even working through, so that I can be of help. If this year you're focused in on leveraging sponsorships for your upcoming events, if you're focused on building corporate partnerships with brands that are on your dream list, then I encourage you to do two things. If you join our email list, I'll send you weekly doses of tips, tricks, and strategies that you can implement with your team right away and start to see results. In this email list, you'll also get a freebie. This freebie is to share with you what sponsors want and how you can diversify your brand benefits in order to give them some great opportunities to have that brand exposure. The second way that you can work with me is through the Nonprofit Event Sponsorship Accelerator. This is a comprehensive course, online course, that teaches you how to navigate the sponsorship industry from beginning to end, really teaching you the full sales cycle so that you understand how to navigate, but also you can build a duplicatable process using the formulas, the templates, the resources that I have built into the online course. Now, this course, people have come out of it securing 5-figure deals, securing, increasing their level of sponsorships and new organizations that are now a part of their network, and people just have greater levels of confidence and knowledge on how to prepare sponsorship decks, how to navigate those conversations with professionalism and with understanding that they bring the sponsor a lot of value. So if that's something that you're looking for and you're wanting to upskill your sponsorship level, then you're going to want to join the Nonprofit Event Sponsorship Accelerator. I'll put the links below. And again, you all have an amazing day. Check out these other videos if you want to learn more for 2025 and beyond.